Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 23 of All the Mods 3 Expert Mode. Our nuclear reactor here that we set up last episode has been running for a while. See, now there are actually no cells in it because they've all been depleted. So let's start by making the next batch of cells for it. The fact that these don't stack makes them kind of unpleasant to craft with, but I just have to make 7 of these quad cells per cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good enough. Alright. So I have it set up such that the this chest, left side chest, is input. The cells you put in there get sucked into the reactor, and then the depleted cells then get sucked out. Now, one big difference between the IC2 classic reactor and the IC2 experimental one is that you apparently get these near depleted cells when the reactor is done. And you'll notice there's only 24 of these, whereas my reactor runs in sets of 4 by 7, right? 24 is neither a multiple of 7 or 28. So what happens is when a quad uranium cell runs to completion, that is when its durability drops to 0 in a reactor, there is actually a 2 in 3 chance that the result is just deleted. Poof, gone. And a 1 in 3 chance that you get 4 of these depleted cells out of it. So out of 28 total fuel cells per cycle, I only expect to get like, what is 1/3 of 20, 28? That's like 9. I only expect to get about 9 depleted cells per, which means that this process is actually quite inefficient at converting uranium into plutonium. And it's not really the uranium that's like the difficult part. It's the fact that this uses so much copper. Each of these quad cells uses 5 by 8, so 40 copper. And that copper is lost forever. Anyways, now that we have this depleted uranium, though, we can process it into plutonium in our chemical dissolver. The only other thing we can do with it is turn it into that, I'm not quite sure what a damage conversion module is. I mean, I guess I could look it up on the wiki. You know, I'm going to do that before I convert all of these, just in case I want them for whatever reason. Alright, so the damage conversion module looks like it's something that it can change a IC2 charge pad into like a damaging thing. Kind of like think like a player trap. But anyways, let's store all this away in a chest. At some point I want to set up a drawer system to hold all of our elements, but I'll get around to that later. So yeah, we don't need that, which means we can go ahead and dissolve all of our fuel rods into plutonium. Aha. And then we can take this plutonium and turn it back into ingots. I assume it's ingots that we needed this for the this thing, the terrestrial agglomeration. We need it in dust form. All right. Let's do it then. Aha. Nice. Yeah, here we go. We now have plutonium. Next up, we have to craft all these runes. That shouldn't be that bad. For the time being, I'll continue crafting these runes by hand, just because I think I'll be completely overhauling our mana system in the near future. So I'll probably be moving stuff around, and I don't want to, build an ultra automation system just to tear it down and move it 10 blocks over or something. I suppose it's not fair to say it's completely by hand. I have a mechanical user automatically hitting it with a wand for me. But aside from that, it's all by hand. Tier 1 runes are all done, so let's make one of these. Nice. Now to set up the to set it up, we actually need a bit of a block under it. Let's see, it takes some living stone. I'm trying to go off memory here, and some lapis, I believe. But it goes in a checkerboard pattern, and I always forget which ones go in the corners and which ones go in the sides. You know what? Let's just look it up in the documentation instead of guessing. How to do it? Reset. Set you to a Lexica Britannia. Oh, I've never opened the Lexica Britannia before this playthrough. Alright, anyways, under Alphamancy. Nope, it's not under Alphamancy. It's under Basics and Mechanics, Terra Steel, and there we go. So I guess it's Living Stone in the corners. Alright, where to put this? It takes some mana, but the mana is not spread via mana spreader, so let's put it here. I'll put it one block above where I put the preview, but... no, I'll sink it into the ground. It's really nice that our pickaxe is now a shovel, so I don't need to like break out a shovel. Downside is I sometimes accidentally break dirt while just trying to, you know, break the block above it. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this. Alright. Structure complete. Nice. So we can't use this yet. I need something. I need sparks to transfer mana to it. This recipe, the vanilla recipe. Nice. Alright, let's get some of these. And I'll just make 10 at a time, because we'll use plenty of these. Alright, so you put 1 spark on your mana pool, 1 spark on your terrestrial amalgamation plate, and we're ready to make Terra Steel. Let me just make sure it's the same recipe as usual. It doesn't say anything, so I suspect it is. So that is 1 mana diamond, 1 mana pearl, and 1 mana steel ingot. Before we do this, let's take a look at how much mana it takes. Right now our mana pool is just about full. That's like 80-ish%. And let's craft this. I definitely want to take off my ring. I could maybe make another one of those Solganias in a bit, but throw these on. You see particles start happening. Mana is flowing from our mana pool to the plate, and it's quite a bit of it. Right, so in my experience, it's been about half a mana pool to make it, but I think it is configurable like by packs. So I don't know if this pack is any different, but at a glance, it doesn't seem to be any less. So yeah, if it's going to take basically a half a mana pool to make a single piece, we're going to need to step up our mana production. Cool. Well, I suspect that completes the quest. The quest even wants 4 of them, because I think the next step is to make the Elven Gateway Core, which takes 4 Terra Steel ingots, among other things. Geez, among a lot of other things. That's a tier 3 slate. We do need the tier 3 crafting table. And besides that, what's fermium? Where does fermium come from? I'm going to need a lot more Terra Steel. So in addition to all the Terra Steel we need to make both fermium and just the Terra Steel ingots, we also need end steel, which has to be made in, at least for now, in a alloy smelter, as well as Dew of the Void, which has to be made in the vat. So we're going to have to get into EnderIO, which means, where are the EnderIO quests? Over here? Alright, so to get there, looks like we have to go the long way around. Sounds good? Then, the other thing we're also going to have to do is step up our mana production, and I noticed there is a mana producing flower here that generates mana off of, I guess, liquid fuels? So that's something we can look into. But let's start for now by doing the EnderIO stuff. We need germanium and zinc oxide. Alright, where do we get this from? Netherrack? Seems easy enough. And zinc oxide, also from Netherrack. Convenient. Let's process a couple stacks of it down for now then. Should probably set something up where I can pipe items in and out of this thing. Alright, I had to turn my blood magic on, so I had to turn my peaceful ritual off. At some point, I think I'll swap that spawner out for like the EnderIO spawner, which means that it should no longer be vulnerable to the Lucernia ritual breaking it. Alright, give me my crystal back, would ya? Aha. Alright, so there's our zinc oxide and germanium. I think it needed a bit more. 8 germanium, 8 of each. Alright. I'm going to process a bit of netherrack down then. And with that, I think we are ready to make the EnderIO machine chassis. Nice. So I guess we have to start with the simple one. But that's zinc oxide, germanium, plutonium dust, which we just made, and grains of infinity. This, I assume, is still made the conventional way of putting fire on bedrock, but it doesn't say a percentage. But I looked through the other recipes, and none of them make grains of infinity, so I assume, that hasn't changed. Let's head down into our mine all the way down to bedrock level. Down at bedrock, all we have to do is, I'm still in flight range. Nice. Light fire to the entire thing. Ha 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 ha. And then I have my magnet on, so I just hover above it. And any grains of infinity that pop out, I'll just suck right up. Hopefully this works. Nope, that's all the fire I get. There we go, perfect. Later on we can get a better way of collecting these by just putting fire water over it, but we need, the vat to make fire water first. Alright, so I'll probably make a couple more flint and steels actually, and gather up, a stack-ish of these grains of infinity. Collected our grains of infinity, turned them into simple machine chassis. Next step is to make the industrial chassis. At first I thought that, the conventional way, let's call it, of making organic dye is by making it in the sag mill, the simple sag mill, but that recipe seems to be gone. We now obviously can't make it in the alloy smelter because we don't have an alloy smelter, so it's either arc furnace or blast furnace, but the recipe is the same. We need to take an overgrowth seed and turn it into organic dye. So the question is, how do we get that overgrowth seed? We can either find it in a chest, which I'm going to check to see if I have one. Nope, never lucky. Or we craft it. But that's going to take this growth essence, which I guess it's not too bad, right? What is overgrowth fertilizer? IC2 fertilizer. Okay. I guess it's that only made in a recycler? If I throw like rotten flesh in there? Or, oh, whatever, that's not too bad. Macerator and a watering can? Will accept any water device? Yeah, it will. Cool. Okay, I guess I have to make a couple IC2 machines. Right, yeah, I need a recycler. Meh. Alright. The recycler just takes input items and turns them into, well, most of the time turns them into nothing. But every now and then it'll turn it into a piece of scrap. Oh, there we go, there's one. So, fill up an input chest with cobblestone. It also has some very specific recipes, like, well, we need some fertilizer, so I guess let's also have it recycle some rotten flesh. Thank you, Mob Farm. I should put drawer upgrades on these so that I'm not just voiding stuff. But we have a lot of ender pearls. Aha. Anyways, that'll produce some of the materials we need. In fact, that's about it. I'm going to need a lot more of this luminescence. How was I making it before? Through the transmutation. Okay, that's not bad. And then I have to empower Emeretic, which I think is the most hungry, 24 million, the most power hungry of the empower recipes. When crafting recipes call for water buckets, like this does, I found the easiest stackable water bucket to use are these water cells from Industrial Craft. Anyways, sure, we'll make a fair amount of this overgrowth fertilizer. Don't know if it's actually, I assume you can actually use it as like true fertilizer to grow things, and it appears like I am out of storage, huh? Alright. I'll just add a few more crates. It appears like I've once again picked up permanent hunger and slowness debuffs here. I think what's happening is when you transmute, you get a temporary debuff, like it's supposed to be, 10-ish seconds long. But after those 10 seconds expire, like the debuff continues on you until you relog. It doesn't seem to actually have an effect, so I think it's purely visual. Like at this point, I think I actually have these well, maybe not. Even now, this feels like it doesn't. Right? Like, I'm definitely not slowed or my hunger is not dropping quickly. I don't know. Either way, it just persists until you relog, which is a little annoying. But such as it is. I made 2 stacks of luminescence now, which is probably enough. What is this? 6, 12 each. I can make 12 each. I can make 10 of these growth reagents. They take 2 per garden cloche as well. Maybe I'll get a little bit more. Putting it all together, we make 10 of growth essences. I didn't end up making more luminescence. I couldn't be bothered poking myself or poking the blazes any longer. At some point, I should go ahead and automate, get that up to tier 4 so I can automate the collection of LP, but that's for later. Now I have to transmute the growth essence into overgrowth seeds. Thankfully, I think I only need to do this like once. So unfortunately, it costs 25,000 LP, so I'm going to have to go poke blazes a little while longer until I get, right, how much do I have? Oh no, I have over 25,000. Let's go transmute. So like before, blood orb in offhand, and right click it. Nice. Now with the seed, I can process it through the arc furnace. What is this? Lamp of growth. Alright. I can process it through the arc furnace to get organic green and black dyes. So arc furnace and go. Just those 3 overgrowth seeds were enough to make 36 industrial dye blend. And I think once we make the alloy smelter, it's easier to, like alloy smelter and sag mill, it's easier to make the dyes the EnderIO way. Anyways, now I just have to combine these into industrial chassis. I assume that's done in this machine. Is there any use for simple chassis? Is there any reason I should keep to make soul chassis? Alright, I guess I'll keep 4 then. And turn the rest into industrial chassis. Nice. So that should be here for another quest down. So before I can make capacitors, I need lithium. So a chemical combiner. Wait, I already have a chemical combiner, right? That's what this thing is? Yeah. So I just need to make some lithium. Breakdowns. Okay. Lithium comes from endstone, mineral salt, or lithium. Alright, I guess endstone it is. The ratio of endstone to lithium is awful. For each piece of endstone, we have, what, just about a 1 in 7 chance of getting a lithium. So like, and to get a single lithium ingot, we need 16 pieces. So it's almost 2 stacks of endstone for a single lithium ingot. I mean, we get all this other stuff too, mercury, sulfur, neodymium, whatever. May be useful down the line, but for now, all I need is lithium. Alright, so unlock that, and I need lithium ingots. Go. I wish this machine were faster. I mean, it's not particularly slow, but I wish it were faster still. Alright, so I guess I have to pick it up. No? Quest not complete? Is this not a chemical combiner? It's a chemical combiner. Oh, it's probably because it has MBT tags on it. Alright, I'll just make another one to make the quest happy then, I guess. Cool, so quest done, and this quest also rewards a coin, which means we can now grab one of our rewards. Since I don't even have an AE system yet, I'm gonna go get the time in a bottle. So if I can grab my other coin. Time in a bottle is like it's like the horologium ritual or whatever. Basically, you can use it to accelerate a single machine or spawner, and it just makes it run faster. So this tick acceleration. Blocks of steel. Can I do it? A Restonia. What? Fine. And just 2 blocks of steel. Alright, I'll make one. Right, you can't craft anything that requires a stage in this because the user that actually does the crafting there doesn't have game stages. That's annoying. Alright, let me grab all of these components. And we'll craft it on a regular crafting table. Forgot the clock. So the time in a bottle also has like, not quite charges, but as you hold it, you see there's time. That's basically how much you can accelerate. So since I just crafted it, I can't actually do much with it yet. How do I turn it on? There's a keybind for it. Just kidding, not a keybind. I just didn't have enough time saved up in the bottle. Alright, so we can see our pulverizer is running now. If I hit it with the time in a bottle, depending on how many times I hit it, determines how much faster it runs, and it depletes the time I have saved in the bottle. So now that I've made it, I believe I can store it away. And the time keeps ticking up. Am I wrong about that? Does it only tick up when it's in my inventory? Maybe that's the case. So I guess I'll keep it on me to store up time. Now later, if I'm waiting on a machine, I can speed it up. Doesn't work on every machine. IC2 machines tend to not like to be accelerated. I'll try it though. There's a non-trivial chance that the machine explodes when I do this. This machine is just very fast as it is. But nope, it works. It just runs very fast. Definitely, no matter what you do not use it to accelerate your quantum quarry. It will explode. Let's rewind a second and revisit our Terra production. So right now, our mana production is quite limited, and it doesn't make any sense that we waste it. In fact, right now, our Gormaleus isn't running because our mana pool is full. We even have a method to detect when the mana pool is full. So why don't we build a system that will automatically, when the mana pool fills up, drop a few pieces of, the mana whatever onto our plate here and begin to craft a piece of Terra steel. The plan is to have 3 droppers, one with each of the ingredients. So mana steel, mana pearls, and mana diamonds. Droppers they're all facing this open crate, and when they receive a redstone signal on rising edge, will send one item from their inventory into the open crate to be dropped. So this redstone receiver I have tasked with this transmitter, which detects when the mana pool is full. It's the same one that controls whether or not we turn the system off. So I put this here. We should have one of each item get dropped. Why did we only get the mana pearl? Why did these not drop? 1 second. I suspect what happened is that the open crate can only accept, it only has 1 internal buffer slot, and because all 3 ticked at the exact same time, they all try to fill the same slot. So what I'm doing is they're putting their items into a chest. There's a thin transfer node in between there that you can't see that should send the items into the open crate after. 1, 2, there we go. And then the crafting starts. Because when the crafting starts, the amount of mana in our mana pool drops. That causes this redstone to be reset, so that the next time the mana pool fills completely to full again, it'll automatically craft another piece of living steel, whatever this is called, Terra steel. So as long as I keep these droppers stocked with supplies, it'll automatically craft Terra steel without worry. And then the final product is picked up by an item collector to store in a drawer. Neat. And as you can see now, our mana pool is only half full, so it'll take it, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, maybe even more to refill. But at least when it refills, it'll automatically craft the next piece by itself. Moving on, the next thing to make are capacitors. So these EnderIO capacitors have a slightly different recipe than usual. I think we've already made lithium, right? We made that by... yeah, that comes from our end stone. So now we have to make enhanced electron boards in a Carpenter, and I guess that takes bronze electron tubes in a thermionic fabricator. Okay, doesn't look too bad. I almost forgot how slow the Carpenter is. We need 1 circuit board, I believe it is, per tier 1 capacitor, but then we need 3 effectively per tier 2 capacitor, right? Because 2 or 1 for each of the tier 1 capacitors and 1 there. And then to make the tier 3 capacitor, we're even going to need the next tier circuit board. So Carpenter's going to be busy. We're probably going to need to make more of this soldering alloy stuff later too. How was this made? Okay, a pretty simple alloy. Alright, anyways, I'm going to let this run a while to make these circuit boards. These capacitors, they're not quite as bad as the Project Ozone capacitors, but they are a hassle. Not that I mind, it's not a unreasonable challenge. For the time being, though, 4 basic capacitors should complete the quest. Next up, alloy smelter and sag mill. Finally. I love these machines. The alloy smelter is, it can make, it can do everything a furnace can do, but in addition, it can make a lot of alloys. And there's a bunch of alloys that are just unique to the alloy smelter that cannot be made in the induction smelter. So like some like solarium can be made in either machine, but if we look at I suspect energetic alloy, well, it can be made in the arc furnace, but trust me, I've run into a bunch of alloys so far that have to be made in the alloy smelter. So let's make ourselves one of those. And the sag mill has the nice advantage of it is probably the most efficient ore processing machine because of the grinding balls. For example, let's take a, I don't know, find some ore here. Let's just pick iron ore. If we process it through a pulver or a crusher, gives you what, 2 plus a 20% chance at gold. A pulverizer is similar, right? 2 and a 10% chance at nickel. But the sag mill, I can find it here. It gives you 2, a 5% chance at tin, and a 10% chance at nickel. But all of these slots are affected by the grinding ball. So if you, say, use the solarium grinding ball, right, the 2 for the iron is multiplied by 1.2, and then both of these are multiplied by 2.15. So there's even better grinding balls than that. If I find one that has, like EnderIO here, instead of getting 2 iron per, we would get 2 times 1.65, or what, 3.3 iron per ore. And I think it might even get better than that. But anyways, my point is, the grinding balls, yeah, here, 1.75. The grinding balls make the sag mill an absolutely bonkers machine for ore processing. So here I am just crafting gears using iron nuggets, and I realize there's 2 types of iron nuggets. Why would... I understand why in patch 1.7 of Minecraft, why Immersive Engineering had their own iron nugget, because, vanilla Minecraft didn't yet. But come on, Immersive Engineering. Minecraft has its own iron nugget. Why do you need your own? I'm mad at you. Anyways, these gears are to be used for... Let's see, do I have this? Nope. Dark gears. Oh, come on. Am I out of dark steel? How do I make this? Steel ingot, hot graphite. Can I do better? Steel ingot, pulverized obsidian. That looks easier. Anyways, I just wanted to complain about the overlap of iron nuggets really quick. Sometimes when you use your time in a bottle to accelerate a machine, like here, you find that it drains power faster than you can supply it with conduits. I've recently found out that if you put a flux capacitor in the slot to power it, the flux capacitor is capable of powering it, supplying more RF per tick than the energy conduit connection. The machine has a per side energy intake limit, which is pretty easily reached when you start, accelerating machines a bunch. And I appear to have used up all my time in a bottle again. Alright, whatever. This should be enough dark steel for now. Give me my capacitor back. Alright, 1 alloy smelter, 1 sag mill. For now, I'll just power these with basic capacitors because, well, I haven't made the better capacitors yet, which means they're not very fast. I think if just to test, let's smelt some copper. Whoa, I have no cobblestone. All right. Let's smelt some cobblestone in here. Yeah, it's not very fast with a basic capacitor, but at some point we'll upgrade the capacitors. And there's even the, enhanced tier of these machines. Well, I can't quite make enhanced chassis yet, right? I think, yeah, I need a few more random chemical stuff before I can make enhanced chassis. But those machines, the enhanced versions are even faster than the standard ones. Finally. By making the alloy smelter, we can finally get into all of the different conduit types. Now, we've already been able to make energy and item conduits by because like the alloys that make them can be done in an induction smelter or arc furnace. However, the redstone conduit needs redstone alloy, which is silicon and redstone in an alloy smelter. So let's do that. This would have been nice when I was setting up, for example, this system here, right? Because I would have been able to run both the redstone and the item conduits in the same block space. But better late than never. But that's not the real price here. Right? I don't need any more stone. Alloys only mode, go. Alright, so yeah, this is painfully slow, but that's why I'm getting it started before I need them. Anyways, that'll make some of that for the redstone conduit, but the real prize is now we can make fluid conduits. So let's see, this is a basic fluid conduit. I don't really care for that. I want ender fluid conduits, which need fused quartz and vibrant alloy. Well, I guess I'll make some basic fluid conduits just to satisfy the quest, but now having access to the full suite of EnderIO conduits means that you know, I don't have to deal with using different, like, I don't need any more of this transfer pipe weirdness, because I can just put a single fluid conduit between the bioreactor and the fluid intake valve. Huzzah! Well, that's all the time we have for today. So let's wrap up here. Tomorrow we'll come back and see if we can get ourselves to the Elfheim portal and all the fun stuff that comes after that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.